time I might have to pause if the doctor calls me while.
That's allowed.
Okay.
You're allowed to do whatever you want.
Oh, really? Well. Show my titties?
Yeah, I just gotta blur them.
Could you imagine?
I mean, please do. That'd be hilarious.
That would be. It is uncensored.
It is. It doesn't matter. I just blur the titty. Welcome to Rachel Uncensored, the only place on the internet you can find an uncensored version of me. I'm Rachel Ballinger, and I'm here with my best friend, Joy.
Hello.
And dog of the day is Ballinger Boy. He just went to Lowe's with us.
And he was a good boy.
He was a good boy, and he pooped in the middle of Lowe's.
It's okay.
Yeah, he took a giant shit.
And he enjoyed it.
He did. Actually, he kind of looked a little miserable.
Yeah, but after he looked very relieved.
Well, yeah, because he finally got that fucking shit out. Oh, man. I let him out every morning, and he just, I think he just goes and pees, and then comes back in and is excited to eat. And, then after he eats, he forgets that he's supposed to go poop. Yeah.
I don't feed my dogs, and they're in the backyard. I don't feed them until they pee and poop. So now they do it really quickly because they know food comes next.
See, I don't want to go outside and watch them.
Well, but when I sit outside, though, I'm not watching them. I'm sitting outside. I'm drinking coffee. I'm scrolling on my phone. I'm enjoying the vitamin D outside in the morning. I don't play with them in the morning either. That's my time. Yeah. And they just got to go potty.
The morning's my time. So I get up and I do my chores.
Yeah.
I do the dishes. I make my coffee. And he's supposed to go outside and do his thing during that time.
But see, I need to go outside because the house I live in is kind of dark. So I need that sun. I need to wake up.
My house is so bright.
Yeah.
I love my house.
Yeah. You get good sunlight.
I guess I could drink my coffee out there and not, I don't know.
When I dog sit at your house, I'm outside in the morning every morning. The fresh air. Yes, I love it. So nice.
Well, I'm glad you love it.
Yeah.
You'll be here next week.
I know I will.
And I think the weather should be nice. It's going to be nice. All the boys just running around. All right. All right. Usually when Joy is here, we do the readings of Am I the Asshole? And so that's, again, what we're going to do. So we don't have to talk about our lives.
Yes.
We'll just judge other people's.
Yes.
Good. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to read these and then we react to them and we decide if we think the person is an asshole or not. This is titled, Am I the Asshole for Using the Handicap Stall to Change My Baby? Based on the title, yes or no?
No.
All right.
For a baby, I say no.
Okay.
But if a handicapped person were to come in, I mean, yeah, that would suck. But I say no. For a baby, no.
Okay. I'm going to read it.
Okay.
I agree with you. I, a 21-year-old female, have a 4-month-old baby, and I took him to the store yesterday. He's a very calm baby, never cries much, so I don't feel bad about going on shopping trips with him. One, you shouldn't ever feel bad about going on shopping trips with your baby.
Even if he does cry.
You have things to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pop a titty out, breastfeed it wherever you want.
Do what you gotta do. Don't go to a Michelin star restaurant with a crying baby.
Yeah.
But go run your errands. Go be a human.
Do it.
This is part of being a human is there's other people out. Yeah. We can't control it.
But that's also the world we live in where there's always somebody that has something to say.
Oh, of course. But she says he needed to be changed while we were there, so I took him to the closest bathroom. I opened up the changing table, and it was genuinely disgusting. I'm pretty sure there was baby poop on it. I couldn't even tell what was on there. Okay, disgusting.
Ugh.
Cute. I have a diaper bag that turns into a portable changing table in the back section, and it's pretty easy and quick to set up. So I went to the accessible stall and changed him as quickly as I could. As we were leaving the restroom, an older woman approaches us and very rudely tells us not to use the accessible restroom to change a baby ever. And that's because she had to use a regular stall, and those make her legs hurt. I said I was sorry, and she called me an asshole and told me I needed to learn common sense. My husband agrees with me, but I told my friend about this, and she told me I was a jerk. I just don't know. And then edit, I replaced handicap with accessible. Okay. No, not at all.
I mean, I definitely think the lady also has a right to be annoyed by it, upset by it, that's fine.
Well, she could have held her pee.
Right, no, 100%. But no, I don't think she was an asshole, not even close.
I think it's an accessible stall. I think it's a stall for those who can't use a regular stall.
Yeah.
The mom needed it. The baby had to go to the restroom.
100%.
And so this stall is meant for situations like that.
My sister too, one time, we were waiting in line to go to the bathroom, and her young daughter, 3, really had to go. And the only one open, there's nobody going to that one, was the solo, handicap,
accessible.
accessible one. And she just quickly took her in there and came out. Because
Yeah.
it's like, it's your kid. What are you going to let her do? Pee on
Yeah.
herself?
I mean, I use it too if it's the last stall open.
Yeah.
And if like,
Oh, so this is like in the bathroom with multiple stalls, not even like the separate, like, you know how some places have just that? Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah, this like, I don't think she's an asshole. And then I was reading the comments on this, and hold on, I found one person. No, everyone was saying, yeah, these are accessible. They're for everybody. And then someone says, not the asshole. I'm a wheelchair user. And yeah, it's really annoying when people use disabled toilets when they aren't disabled. I don't have the ability to use irregular facilities, and I have previously wet myself while waiting. But I'm also a parent now, and given the situation with the changing table being disgusting, I don't blame you. I wouldn't change my baby on poop-covered changing tables either.
100%.
So, like, even the community, or at least one person in the community is like, nah.
100%.
Not a chance. Also, I think parents who have, like, a 3-year-old who can't fit in a stall, and you have to be there with your kid as they pee.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's an accessible stall. It's like, it's an extra stall. And if you and someone in a wheelchair are going to the restroom at the same time, there's a small stall and the accessible stall. Yeah, don't be a fucking dick and take the big one. You give that to them.
100%. I don't think she was the asshole.
No, not even a little bit.
I don't even think, it's interesting. Like, I would be so curious to hear her friend's side of it as to why she thinks.
Her friend probably hates babies.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so they're probably like, oh, you shouldn't have a kid.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not her fault that you have a child.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everyone on here says she's not the asshole. There wasn't, I don't think, a single person that said that you're
honestly,
an
if I
asshole
was
for
a
that.
mom too, I don't even think that situation, I don't think that would have even bothered me after that. I'd be like, okay, well, I'm sorry.
I'd be like, well, you should learn to hold your pee. You should get dependables.
Oh my God.
If she's being a little dick, I'd be a dick back.
Or like, or look at her and be like, how do you know I'm not disabled in some way?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are dumb. That's like, no, it's stupid. All right, this is the next one. Am I the asshole for not letting my room be used as a guest room? Okay. PSA, I have a job and so does my brother. We help my mom out with the bills because she does struggle and she is a single mother. I, a 15-year-old female. So one, this 15-year-old has a job and is helping her mom with bills.
Oh my goodness. She's an influencer.
Yeah, I don't know. And my brother, a 17-year-old male. So she lives with her mom and her brother.
Yeah.
And her mom is a 45-year-old female.
Okay.
We live in a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house. Oh, pretty decently sized.
Nice.
We have a guest over once in a while. Anytime someone sleeps over, it's usually my mom's parents visiting. This time, it was my brother's birthday, and my mom's whole side of the family came down to celebrate with my brother like a normal family does. We have one guest bedroom. My aunt, who is a 28-year-old female, and my uncle, a 29-year-old male, and my 2 cousins, both females, 10 years old. And they live the farthest, so they asked if they could spend the night, and my mother said yes. Mind you, there's only one bed in my room. My mom says, oh yeah, my daughter can sleep on the couch in the living room, and the kids can sleep in her room.
Okay.
I wouldn't have had a problem with it if she had asked.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, she volunteered me to do so. I told her that I would not be sleeping in the living room because she never asked me, and was trying to force me, so now I will not. I explained to her that if she would have asked me, then I would have said yes. She told me that it's her house and she makes the rules, so what she says goes. I expressed my room was a place of comfort for me, and that's where I feel safe. She started screaming at me, telling me I'm ungrateful and selfish for not wanting to let my cousins sleep in my room. Am I the asshole? This one I could see being very split.
That's a hard one. I do know people who do that too. When people come into town, they have their kids sleep on the air mattress or somewhere else. Yeah. See, it's a hard one, but I'd like to say that I think the child does deserve respect in the aspect of like asking her.
I don't think she's an asshole. I don't think the daughter is an asshole.
I don't think the daughter is an asshole either.
Especially since like she is also working and paying the bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I just feel like at 15, that is such like teenagers need their privacy.
Yeah.
Like obviously they don't need like deadbolts on their door or whatever.
100%.
And can do whatever they want. But like that is their space that you've given them. And I was reading a lot of the comments and people really hate the it's my house, my rules. They're like,
100%.
They're like, yeah, but that kid doesn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
They legally have to be there.
Yes. My mom used to say that. My mom and my dad, actually they still do, would say that to me. And I started saying back to them, that's not fair. Like, that's my home too. I grew up there. You can't say it's your house. Like, that's my home.
It's
like,
one thing to be like, you can't bring drugs into my house.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes. Get that.
That's fine. But like, to just be able to kick your kid out of their room,
Mm-hmm.
I think is a little extreme. I think the mother doesn't sound like she's got a great handle on herself.
No, she's 45 with 2 kids at that age, and they have to help pay the bills at their age.
Also, like, sell that house and get a cheaper place.
Right.
You don't need a house that big.
Right.
If your kids,
But
your 15-year-old should not be helping with the bills.
Don't expect your young children to take on adult tasks if you're not going to give them like respect that you would an adult.
Yeah. So I think, I don't think it's an asshole. The mom
asshole.
should have gone and been like, hey, your cousins are coming. How would you feel about giving them to your room? It's totally okay if you don't want to. It would just be a little easier.
And that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
In one room. She said she had an extra bedroom. It would have been a different, like, hey, the 2 young kids are going to sleep on that extra bed and then have the adults sleep on the air mattress.
Yeah. Like, and then there was a lot of comments being like, if it matters so much to the mom, why can't the mom sleep on the couch?
100%. Yeah.
Like, and also they're 10 years old. Why can't they would love to have a fort in the living room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's just so matter of fact. I always hated that.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily my mom never really did that with me. Like, but I think it's because there was so many times in our family where it was just like, oh yeah, they'll help you out with that. And they're like, well, why would you just say that I would do that?
Yeah.
Like, I make my own decisions.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to say I could see this being split, but the majority of the people said she was not the asshole.
Really?
Because if the mom had kindly asked, then people would probably say you're an asshole. But the just blatant, this is happening, is not okay. And that's what people weren't cool with.
Yeah. I think a lot of people can relate to that story. Even if it's not exactly like somebody's taking over your room, but this story, the whole, this is my house, my rules kind of story.
Yeah. Yes. And like, a lot of people were like, not the asshole. I lost my bedroom to visitors because I was the youngest. When we visited others, I was on the floor of the couch because I was the youngest. So it makes sense to have the youngest cousins to have the couch, like be on the couch floor. It's like, that is a thing. Like, her brother didn't have to lose his room.
Yeah. And it is awkward too. Like, you know, you have to shower, you have to change. Like, you have people staying in your room. Like,
why are you both being put out?
Yeah.
Like, why are the cousins, like, they're already out of a suitcase. Why should you also have to be, like, going back and forth?
Right. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense. They're staying.
And I feel like if you're coming to my house and, like, you don't want to get a hotel, you don't want to do this, I mean, I'm going to offer you what I have, which is like, yeah, but I have the couch and an air mattress if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And if it's not, then make the drive back, you know?
Yeah, there are people, like, I don't understand it. There's, like, sometimes I'll watch movies or I'll hear stories where it's like, oh, the in-laws are coming so they get the master bedroom. And I was like, what?
Never.
Not a chance.
Nope.
Or there's people who are like, oh, like, yeah, like, my friend is coming over, so I'm making my, like, boyfriend sleep on the floor. And I'm like, no. Why? No. If you're visiting, you get what you get.
I've had just only a few of my friends that have stayed the night before at my place just because we were all hanging out or drinking or whatever. And I've never made him, but Dylan's just the kind of guy where he's like, you guys can have the bed and I'll sleep on the couch.
That's his choice.
Mm-hmm, exactly. It's a completely different thing.
Yes. I would never expect that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just like so weird to me that certain things are just expected.
Yeah.
And I'm like, a visitor gets what the host is just willing to give.
Yeah.
And I don't think that should be anything more than what, like, I'm not going to go out of my way.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, not a chance. No.
I agree.
All right. Before we move on, let's check to see if we have a sponsor for today. Sponsor.
ZocDoc is our sponsor for today. There's nothing worse than going to a doctor's appointment expecting to be the center of attention, and then your doctor seems like they have better things to do and better places to be. Instead of listening to you intently, asking you how you feel, and helping you along, the doctor is checking on the clock. With ZocDoc, you'll find quality doctors who focus on you, listen to you, and prioritize your care. ZocDoc is the only free app that lets you find and book doctors who are patient-reviewed, take your insurance, are available when you need them, and treat almost every condition under the sun. When you're not feeling your best and just trying to hold it together, finding great care shouldn't take up all your energy. That's where ZocDoc comes in. Using their free app that millions of users rely on, you can find the right doctor that meets your needs and fits your schedule. Go to ZocDoc.com/Rachel and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then find and book a top-rated doctor today. Many are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc.com/Rachel. ZocDoc.com/Rachel.
All right. Am I the asshole for not wanting my hubby's cousin to use my house to get ready for her wedding? We'll see.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. We live in a private community with a beautiful park. We are renting from my in-laws and pay rent every single month to them. My husband recently told me that her cousin, that his cousin or her cousin? My husband recently told me that her cousin.
My husband recently told me that her cousin.
His cousin?
Probably.
Okay. His cousin, someone I haven't seen in a very long time, years to be honest. She hasn't even met my kids, and the oldest is turning 8 in March. But she's getting married and wants to do it in the park in my community. Okay, cool. I don't mind that at all. She just has to pay a small fee and ask the admins about the whole deal. She hasn't talked to us about it. She's been going to my mother-in-law because she owns the house. That's fine. However, last weekend during my baby's birthday party, my sister-in-law tells me that my cousin is very excited to marry in the park and that she wants to come to my house to get ready. This means my house will be full with relatives and disturbing my Saturday and my children's privacy. She hasn't even had the courtesy to ask us if that would be all right to come here and use our house. I mean, I haven't seen her in a long time. We don't have a relationship. We don't know her fiance, or maybe we did or maybe we met him at her father's funeral like 6 years ago. I don't know if it's the same guy. She could be getting ready at her own house and come directly to the park. That's what I did for my wedding. I got ready at home and headed straight to the venue. Am I the asshole? And if not, how should I handle this? By the way, I already told my husband how I feel, and he said we'll figure it out. I don't think she's the asshole.
I don't think again, it goes back to the fact of if she would have asked her.
Yes.
And I think that's where a lot of that comes from, is the fact that they're not being asked and they have to hear it from somebody else, or they're being forced into a situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same, Siri.
I don't think she's an asshole. A part of me at the same time though was like, oh, well, she is family and it's one Saturday. Like, how much could it be? But she has the right to be annoyed by it.
And when people are like, it's family, that's where I'm done. I'm like, no, just because that's family doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I have a great family. I love my family. But I refuse to use that as an excuse. I do things for my family because they're great people and I like them. Yeah. Not because I'm related to them. Yeah. And also, it's her husband's cousin whom she barely knows and hasn't met the fiance. If it was like her brother's sister, like her sister-in-law, she has a really good relationship with, but then again, I guess she would ask her. Yeah. And people don't realize it's like, oh, just let her get ready at your house. It is the entire bridal party getting ready there. Yeah. The photographer. Yeah. Like has to be there. The videographer
and
has to be there.
She's not even part of the wedding. Like she doesn't. Yeah.
She was attending this wedding as a guest, so she like 3 hours of her day. Yeah. But now it's like her entire day, and all of her kids are like, her kids live there and stuff.
Yeah, no, she's not the asshole, but she said it wasn't her house, right?
She's renting it from her mother-in-law. So she's renting. So
the mother-in-law must have been the person who gave her the permission.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
I would be more so annoyed with the mother-in-law at that point, because just like if you have somebody who's paying to live in your house, like you want to respect their rules and their privacy, right? Like the mother-in-law clearly didn't do that to her.
Yeah, like if I started renting this house to you, you're welcome. But if I started renting this house to you and then I was like, oh, by the way, a bunch of people are coming over on this Saturday, you have no say in it.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
No, you rented. Like, cool. This is your house.
So this month is free?
Yeah, like this is when you're renting. I hate when families do this, like when they're like rent without a contract or whatever. They still think they have rights to the house. Yes, you don't. Yeah, it's like not yours. Yeah. 100%. You have no right to say who comes and goes unless it's like a plumber or an electrician.
Right. You have certain boundaries and stuff that you guys can set with each other, but you can't put it on lockdown. Like you have to be home by 10 p.m. You have to do this. You have to do that. Like you can't do that.
I hate that.
Especially if they're paying rent.
Correct. If they're paying rent, it's a no-go. Yeah. Like you can say no animals. Yeah. And things like that.
But those are stuff that you figure out before.
Yes.
But like, you know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think to rent a house for my mother-in-law and go, we're just making sure like no bridal parties anywhere in the future, right? Like,
Yeah, come on.
but I definitely would be more so annoyed with the mother-in-law.
Yeah. Everyone in this is just like, you're not the asshole. And
Yeah.
people are just like, that mother-in-law
Now,
sounds
what do you
crazy.
do though if the husband is like, oh, I really want to like support my cousin and blah, blah, blah. What do you do if you're like split on that?
Oh, if the husband's about it?
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay, are you cleaning up after everybody?
Right.
Because chances are he's not.
Yeah, no.
Or
hiring
or
a
be
cleaning
like,
crew.
hey, you need to have conversations with me about this.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just say yes. Like, maybe the mother-in-law did ask him.
Yeah.
And he said yes. You got to check with your wife first.
100%.
You can't guarantee a house. Like, Abby and I check with if just one of our friends wants to come over.
Yeah.
Like,
You have to communicate.
You have to communicate.
No, she's not the asshole.
No. All right. This one, it says, am I the asshole for asking my sister to clean out her office so I can have a bedroom?
Okay.
Okay. I, a 36-year-old male, have recently become single, and she kicked me out of the house because the house belonged to her and she paid for it. I currently don't have a job, so couldn't pay for a deposit for a rental flat. I asked my sister Janet, a 32-year-old female.
Uh-huh.
Is your sister's name is Janet? If I could move in with her temporarily. She wasn't happy at first, but after our mom spoke to her, she agreed. The issue is, she only gave me the couch and not a bedroom. She lives alone in a 3-bedroom flat. The issue is, bro, you already said what the issue was.
Right. She doesn't want you there.
Right. The issue is she converted 2 of her bedrooms into offices because she runs a business from home.
Okay.
She had her computers in one room and stuff she sells in another. Frankly, I think it's excessive, so I asked her to combine the rooms and allowed me to have some privacy in my own bedroom. I even offered to move everything on my own so she wouldn't have to carry heavy things, because women can't carry heavy things.
Right.
She refused. I told her she's always been spoiled and didn't need 3 rooms for herself. Bitch, she fucking paid for those rooms with the job.
I mean, it sounds like they don't have a close relationship.
It sounds like he's an entitled piece of shit.
Yeah.
Hold on. There's more. She said it's her house and I can sleep on the couch or go to mom's, which she knows I won't do. I told her she's an asshole and a selfish prick. Wow, he sounds like a winner. I wonder why his girlfriend broke up with him.
Yeah.
I thought I could get to her, and she's been asking every day and have been asking every day, but instead of finally agreeing, she threatened to kick me out of the house, which is her God-given right.
Right.
My mom is on my side, but my dad and sister think I'm the asshole. I think she is because she doesn't have any compassion. I told my mates and they kind of split, so I need strangers' unbiased opinions before knowing how I'm going to proceed. Am I the asshole? Yes. The majority say yes. Someone said, yes, you are a very temporary guest. The couch is a deliberate reminder of that. You are not supposed to be moving into your sister's place. You're just allowed to stay there until you find housing. You should not be there long enough to that the lack of privacy is a significant burden.
Right. That's part of it too. She doesn't want him to get comfortable. And the fact that the mom had to talk her into it, like, it says enough about their relationship.
Someone said, 1, your ex is sick of your entitled shit and sent you packing. 2, your sister is sick of your entitled shit and wants to send you packing. 3, your mom doesn't want you to bring your entitled shit to her house and wants you to be at your she wants you to be your sister's problem.
Yeah.
4, your dad wants you to quit your entitled shit and stop being such an asshole.
Yeah.
All 4 relationships you described seem geared toward you being coddled and them no longer wanting you to be involved with them. Grow up. You're too old for this kind of freeloading and entitlement.
And if the mom is trying to talk the daughter into it, like, I feel like that's more so, regardless of his age or anything, that's more so the mom's responsibility than the daughter. Like, you take care of your son. Like,
yes, I mean, she doesn't want him.
No, yeah.
But also, if you're 36 and your girlfriend broke up with you, kicked you out of her house, 1, you try to make her look bad for that. Bitch, that was her fucking house.
Right. I'm sure there's, and it's hard.
What did she want her to do? Give it to you?
I know, you can just already tell there's so much more to the story.
And then he's like, I don't have a job. You're 36. Where's your job?
Yeah, right.
And then he says, so I don't have the deposit for a flat. You had no savings? You're 36. You were living with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
And you have no savings.
Yeah.
Like, he is clearly an entitled, coddled piece of shit.
100%. See, at first I was like, oh no, this is going to be a hard one for me, because when I moved back to my parents' house, mind you, one of the main reasons is because my parents needed help with my little brother and him going to school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I could use a little break from where I'm at. Let me go back home. My brother had a bunk bed in his room, and so I was like, I didn't care, like, we had the bunk beds, but then after a little while I was like, you know what, I'm older, I need my own space.
Yeah.
He's my young brother, like, he needs his space. And so I'd asked my mom if we could turn the office, which used to be my bedroom, the office back into a bedroom, just temporarily, and she would not have it because it was her office. But mind you, I wouldn't have asked if she actually used it.
Yeah.
It wasn't used. And then, like, 2 months after that, they turned it into a second room for my dad so he could rest during the day. So
what?
Yeah.
He can't rest in his bed? What the fuck?
So now it's an office again. So yeah, so that's where I thought it was gonna go, but that's a completely different thing.
He's like, she doesn't need 3 beds. They're not bedrooms.
It's her place.
One, they aren't bedrooms. It's not like she has 3 rooms with 3 beds, and she's like, no, this is her job.
Office,
you
right.
clearly don't know what the fuck it takes to have a job.
Especially one where you work from home. You need a peaceful space. You need, like, your work space.
Yeah, she's like, one where you go sit down and do the books. Another where she's like storing shit.
Yeah, she's got all her stuff figured out. Like,
yeah, you know what? Doesn't hurt to ask. You can be like,
yeah,
hey, is it possible? If not, that's cool.
But she did not want him getting comfortable.
No, and he's like, I thought I could get to her, so I asked every day. He is clearly a piece of shit.
See, honestly, if you want it that bad, that's when you start, like, show me the money.
Yeah,
why? If I give you $500,
well, he doesn't have
can
that.
I start moving that stuff in? Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, okay, show me the money first.
Why are you so concerned with this? You should be concerned about getting a goddamn job.
100%. Just sleep on the couch. What do you need a bedroom for? You think you need privacy? You're going to bring people into my place?
No. Gross.
No.
You're gross. You're an asshole.
I wonder how that situation ended.
What?
I wonder if he got kicked out.
I hope she kicked him out.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm saying just because it's family doesn't mean you should have to. Mm-hmm. She did not want him.
But that's a different situation. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing with the wedding thing, I was thinking, I'm like, it's a wedding.
It's like one day.
Right,
whatever,
right. But this is, like, ongoing.
Yes. No. Yeah. No.
No.
All right. Am I the asshole for not watching my sister's dog for a week? Okay. I'm very close to my family, so I want to help them any way that I can. But when my sister asked me recently if I could sleep at her house for about a week, she's about to go on vacation, to watch her dogs, I said that my schedule wouldn't work out to stay at her house. I had work at 6 a.m. and she lives 20 minutes away from work. So that's just too much time for her.
Yeah.
Okay.
She doesn't want to get up that
She doesn't want to get up that early. Girl, I wouldn't want to wake up at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
All right. She said she'd pay me, but in the past that hasn't been enough. So that it would be worth my time. When I was younger, I would stay at her house frequently to watch her dogs because I still lived at my parents and I didn't mind staying there. Now that I have a husband and my own house that's 15 minutes away from her, I haven't stayed at her house for a few years now. The reason why she wants me to stay there is because she thinks her dogs wouldn't do well in a kennel and they don't do well with other dogs/pets. She doesn't have anyone else that's willing to help because the dogs don't do well with strangers or people they don't know. She now assumes that I will take care of them because I have in the past. I told her that it doesn't match up with my new schedule and it's very inconvenient to stay there. It's also inconvenient to drive there multiple times a day. She wasn't happy with what I said. I don't feel obligated to stay there anymore because I have a job and other priorities. Am I the asshole for not watching my sister's dogs?
No. I mean,
No.
does it suck?
Yeah.
Yes. Do I resonate?
Yes.
But at the same time, no.
It's no one's responsibility. Like, your dogs are your responsibility. My dogs, I am very careful as to who can watch mine. If Blaze gets out, he's a runner. He's a track star. You won't ever get him again.
Yeah.
You'll lose him.
I'm a track star.
Yeah. Like, Blaze is, and he's also he studies on how to escape.
Yeah. He's
And
looking for the out.
He does look for the out. So he kind of, if he's not locked in a room, has to kind of be watched.
Yeah.
And then Snoop is just a prince, but doesn't like new people.
Yeah.
And so there's rules. Like, you can't just have anyone come in willy-nilly. Like, there's rules to the house.
Yeah.
And so I have Emily, and then I was like, I need more people because if you two say no,
Yeah.
I'm shit out of luck.
Yeah.
So then I hired a dog walker who watches them, she can watch them if needed, but she doesn't do overnights.
Yeah.
And so I have Marnay. So I'm like, and I was just thinking recently, I was like, I should probably have a fourth in my pocket.
Yeah.
Because as a responsible dog owner of dogs who aren't easy breezy, beautiful cover girls,
Yeah.
I have to make sure that like my shit's lined up.
And you have to, I was just going to say, like, if you have that much of a struggle, then you got to do some sort of training. You have to get like people like Marnay where they're coming over and meeting the dogs.
Yes.
Like, you have to prepare for that if you know that you have a difficult.
Yes. Like, yeah, I didn't need a dog walker.
Yeah.
But I met up with Marnay because she is a dog walker. And then I was like, can you do overnight? She's, yeah. So I was like, great. Come get to know my dogs. They both are obsessed with her now.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. And like, it does
But
suck.
you did work to get there. Like before it was only me that was doing it.
Mhm.
And now you have 3 people.
Yes.
You know, and now you're probably at the point where you could have a 4th.
Yeah.
But you have to work to get there.
Yeah.
You know, you have to plan for it. But however, with this situation too, it's easy to, I don't want to say take advantage, but it's easy to just rely on that same person. Yeah. So unfortunately, when you've set that standard, like you are going to have that weird moment where you're finally going to have to put your foot down and be like, I can't do it anymore.
And the sister's probably like, it's not that big a deal. You can wake up 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
But it's like, she has a house. She has a home. Like,
see, like I said, my mind goes to, all right, pay me the money, give it to me now.
And she's like, I'd pay you, but she said it's not enough.
And that's fine.
Yeah. And like, you don't owe anyone anything.
No.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
Like, yeah. And it's like, you have your dog Suka.
Yeah.
You, your boyfriend, and me are the only 3 people that can actually like
literally
handle him.
Yeah.
In any sense of the word.
Or I just trust to not like let out and stuff.
But like, so if you want to go somewhere, you either have to make sure that Dylan stays home, or if you both go, you can have to either take Suka with you.
And a lot of the times that's what we plan with. Is he comes with us.
Yeah. Or you have to see if I'm available.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I'm like doing nothing, I will.
Yeah,
obviously. Like,
but if you can, I would never fault you. For that, ever.
That's not like, I'm like, you know what? It just doesn't work out.
Yeah, never. I would never be upset with that.
No, and it's just like, okay, because like that's your dog.
Mm-hmm.
And just like if I'm like, hey, can you watch my boys? And you're like, I can't. I'm like,
yeah.
Or you're like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'd be like, okay.
That's it. It is what it is. I gotta figure it out. Yeah.
They're my responsibility.
It's your responsibility. Yeah.
So I not the asshole at all.
No, not
again.
At all.
Another like most people are saying that,
but yeah.
I mean, it's
sucks for her.
Yeah. It just sucks.
Maybe we should give her my number.
Oh my goodness. All right.
I know I get clients all the time that ask me if I'll dog sit, and I only do it for you. There's a couple clients I have only because if I do, especially at my house, no, it's always at my house unless it's your house, but they have to be dogs that get along with dogs, or they have to at least or they at least have to be a crate trained dog. Like those are my biggest things. If they're problematic in any way, I don't even think about it because I can't. I literally can't. If I was just at home a lot, cool, I can make it work, but because I work so much, I'm like, nope. And I don't trust the dad living in the house to not accidentally do something.
I convinced you to watch Blaze at your place once, and it's because I showed you the goddamn money.
Yes. Although I made you take that money down by 50% because I was like, I'm not that. Although when you said it, I was like, that's crazy. I couldn't even accept it because.
Well, because I know Joy lives in a house with her boyfriend and his parents. And it's a small house, and you already have 3 dogs.
It's not even a house. It's like a shed.
And you already have 3 dogs. And I was going to be away for the weekend, and Abby had a bunch of stuff going on.
3 dogs and 3 reptiles.
Oh, yes.
And your dog likes...
Yeah. And my boys a wizard? I'll eat all of it. But yeah, I was like, it is so inconvenient to have a new dog at your place that doesn't get along with everything.
But I will tell you, it actually went really well.
I'm sure it did. And I was like, and I'm glad that it did. And I was like, great. I know if I really need to, I just show the money.
Yes, if you really need to.
But that's what you do. You have to figure shit out.
Yeah.
And you have to be willing to pay the price.
100%. I mean, even with dogs sitting down, not that I do it so much anymore, but that one year when I was doing it so much, like there is a lot, like it's an hour drive and packing up all the dogs. And it's like we're going on vacation with the whole family.
Yes. I started feeling bad. I'd be like,
our giant suitcase.
Yes.
But the hardest part was just packing up. Once we got here, I was like,
you love being here. Yeah. You're taking a bath. It is the packing up. That's why I always felt bad at like little weekends.
Yeah.
That's why I actually got Marnay, my dog walker, because I was just like, I would love it if just for like 2 or 3, like if it's 2 or 3 days, just have someone pop in.
And even with the little days, that's what I realized too was I thought it could be easy. Like, yeah, just grab a couple of clothes and the dogs will be good. I'm like, we need the dog bowls. We need the dog food.
Yeah.
We need this. We need that.
I mean, all the training shit.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
I'm like, what if this? Oh, this, like, yeah.
So I just, you're the big trips now.
But again, that was the hardest part, was just
Packing up. Yeah, that's what I was like. Little weekends, I feel like it's easy to just have Marnie do it. And then, yeah. Oh, hello. All right. This is another dog one. But for first, let's check to see if we have a sponsor for today. Sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Betterhelp. We're constantly talking about self-care, but think about how much time a week you spend on other people versus yourself. It's a little off balance. It's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else needs from you and never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. But when we spend all of our time giving to other people, we end up feeling stretched and then we get burnt out. I definitely do this a lot, and it's a cycle I need and have started to break, and it feels great. Therapy can give you the tools to find balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. You have to be the best version of you to be the best version for other people. In therapy, I have learned how to set boundaries, and it's hard to do, but I've learned how to do it, and it's done nothing but benefit my life. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Sometimes it takes a moment to find a therapist that works well with you. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/RU today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/RU.
All right. Am I the asshole for refusing to help my ex with our former dogs?
Okay, let's hear that one.
They're still dogs, but formerly mine, I guess. My ex and I divorced close to 2 years ago, and it was a huge, messy, drama-filled garbage fest, which I highly resented because A, we have a kid together, and they had to deal with all that, and B, as far as you can assign fault in a breakup, it was hers almost entirely. No cheating involved, but lots of terrible other crap. One of the biggest points of resentment was over our 2 dogs, which she fought tooth, claw, and nail for, going so far as to give me full primary custody of our child so that she could keep both dogs. Fair trade to me. Okay. Already, this lady. No, if you're willing to give up a child to keep dogs.
Me. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but you wouldn't. You don't
no,
have
I
children.
wouldn't.
I know. Dude,
well, it's still kind of funny though.
Yes, true. Yeah, but
Poor
like,
kid.
if the kid's already alive, like, bro, no.
Poor kid.
Not
I have a
fucking
friend
chance.
whose parent like always chose the dog over them, and they always waited for that dog to die. The dog made it to like 15 years old.
Oh
and
my
finally
God.
just passed away. Yeah, and I'm like feeling so bad for the mom, and the kids are like, finally. No, but really always put the dog first.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah.
Those people exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I fully believe that. Oh my God. All right. Due to life circumstances, she now needs help with the dogs. Basically, I'd need to...
Same situation. This is so funny. I wonder... Wait, does it say their names?
Hold on. Basically, I need to foster the dogs for a period of time and then contribute financially toward their care after that period and probably dog sit. Now, I absolutely could take the dogs. I have the space and all of that, and offered to just take them from her permanently. That didn't fly. And how could it? She literally traded her child for a chance to have them. On the other hand, obviously, I don't want anything to do to help her. I don't want to have more interactions than I already need to have with her to take the best care of our child, nor do I want to be beholden to her schedule or whims or anything else in the way that I'm not doing now, since I get final say over when and where our child is with her. Even outside of not wanting to help her out, the dogs require rigorous care for her standards, one of the main components of our breakup. Their quality of life would necessarily go down in my household, but from like reincarnated godmother Edna to dog body to just dog. Plus, I've gotten used to not having to run after 2 big dogs, and frankly, after the years of madness surrounding them, it's nice I now have my house how I want it. on the other, she is the mother of my child and all that. And they were also my dogs for 5 years. So I do care about them and don't want them to have to go to a shelter or a worse situation. My child is also attached to the dogs, and I don't want them to have to suffer just because I don't want to deal with their mother. X is pretty much constantly on a tear about the dogs and saying how they're a lifelong commitment and it's cruel of me to be so indifferent on how they'll spend their older years. But you know what? A child is supposed to be a lifelong commitment too, and she didn't care much about shit in the bed on that one. I just want to make sure my bitterness over the breakup and how she is not in our child's life in a meaningful way isn't being taken out too much on innocent parties. And he said the reason she's going out of town is she needs to leave the country for a period of time. And then when she returns, she wants them back.
So I mean, I think he definitely has the right to make either decision. But the things that I was listening for was, does the kid like the dogs?
Yes.
And do the dogs like the kid?
Yes.
And then does he like the dogs? And
He
clearly
does.
he does. So the only issue is really just his resentment towards that situation, which he has every right to.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would call him an asshole for either decision. Like, I think that, I mean, yeah. Either whatever he wanted to pick would be fine. But I would say if the kid gets along with the dogs and he loves the dogs, do it for the dogs, especially if they're already old.
Yeah.
They're not going to be around very much longer. I mean, she's going out of the country, like,
Yeah.
you know, because I was thinking then you're going to have to deal with her. And like, are you doing this and this for the dogs? Well, she's going out of the country. I would just not answer that phone call.
Yeah. I'd be like, either the dogs are mine permanently or not at all. Well, I mean, me personally, I would take the dogs. But if he wants to be like, they're mine permanently, or you don't get to have them. But then also,
but then that also just adds so much more control and craziness to the situation. But if the threat is them going to the pound or something for that, then I'd be like, just give them to me. But I would set a boundary of like, I'm going to care for them. I'm going to do this, but you can't
have any communication.
Tell me
about
like
them.
what to do. Yeah.
Everyone's saying you're not the asshole, but I would take the dogs for the child's sake.
Mm-hmm.
And for the dog's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's literally like, you're not the asshole, but take the dogs.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Yeah, like it's your decision, but
and there's
do the right thing.
Yeah, you have every right to be resentful towards her decision in the past and everything. But again, the kid loves the dogs.
Yeah.
If the kid was like, no, like, this is how I feel about the dogs in that situation, you know, all that, then support your child. But yeah,
no, you're not an asshole, but take the dogs. That's literally much what everyone is saying.
Yeah.
All
I mean,
right.
at least you have full custody of the kid, so that's really what's important.
The ex-wife seems fucking crazy and a terrible mother.
I know, that's why I couldn't stop laughing though, because he was just talking about how much there's a spider on your ceiling.
Where? Ew.
It just started moving.
Mm.
I can't think about anything now.
You want me to kill it?
He's just living his best life.
He's going that way. He's not walking towards you.
He's gonna go just eat.
Are you gonna be able to focus? Do you want me to kill him?
No. I'll cry if you kill him.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not gonna like.
No, we're good. We're good.
Put a leash on him and walk him outside. I don't know what else you want me to do. There's kill or leave. It's fight or flight, bitch. Which one you want?
I'm not gonna put a leash on him and walk him outside. If he was big enough for a leash, I wouldn't still be sitting here.
Oh, he's moving towards us now. Fuck.
I heard the laughter. Yeah, he's not the asshole, but take the dog.
Yes. All right. This next one has to. I mean, yeah. Whatever. You'll listen. Am I the asshole for doing a favor but not being emotionally available while doing so? Okay. So they're doing the thing. But they're just not in it to win it.
Got it.
Hello. Hello, internet judges. I need your assistance deciphering if I am the asshole in a disagreement I had with my sister. Most shit has to do with family because family is entitled.
Yeah.
Family is so fucking entitled.
Yes.
And that's why I hate the fuck that it's like, we're family, we're blood. No.
Yeah.
You still have to treat
it's funny
me with
that
love
I
and
even
respect.
said that because,
yeah.
you know,
yeah.
my situation.
Yes. Oh my God. All right. Last week, my sister was having a stressful morning, juggling life between dropping my niece off at school, working remote, and tending to her sick toddler. She was frustrated with me because I didn't step in and help her, but I wasn't aware she needed me because I was on the phone making appointments. I can't fucking stand that. When people are like, it would just be nice if you helped. And I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to know you needed help?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
I'm an adult. You have your own life. I have my own life. Unless you're like,
Are they together? Because I was like, maybe it's one of those things.
think-
You know how when you see me doing something or I see you doing something, I'm like, oh, do you
well,
want
yeah, I think it's like I think it looks like they maybe live together. And she was like, her sister was
just like passive
passing
aggressively
through, and she's
getting
sitting
things.
there on the phone just doing her own shit like a person. Like, if I see you grunting, struggling with a box, I'm gonna come over and help you with it.
Yeah.
But if you're in the garage struggling with a box and I'm in the kitchen, how the fuck am I supposed to know you're in the garage struggling with the goddamn box?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, she later angrily expressed her frustration, and of course I felt bad. You shouldn't have felt bad. You should have been like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? I would have helped. Take accountability for your own fucking actions. In the afternoon, she asked me to drive her to the baby's doctor's appointment so she could work while I drove. Of course, I said, because I wanted to help. Oh, you asked? And that was happening.
And you received.
Yes, great. The drive was quiet. I accompanied her to the pediatric ward, but I stayed in the waiting room when it was time for them to go see the physician. While I waited, I had disassociated myself to another planet. After the appointment, we headed downstairs to pick up a prescription, which would take another 20 minutes. My sister began noticing my silence and began asking if something was wrong. Rather than saying I don't feel like talking because I'm in my head, I simply grunted and waved her off. A couple minutes later, she asked me again, and this is where I'm wrong because I didn't think before I spoke. I just said, I'm thinking about the dog. I want to get home and buy my food, and I still need to work out. She was fuming by what I said and called me selfish and told me my silence affects everyone around me. Our drive home was uncomfortable because she was upset with me, and we ended up blowing up at one another at home. I don't feel like I did anything wrong for being quiet. You didn't. You don't have to fucking talk.
Yeah.
You were doing a favor. You don't have to talk.
Yeah.
It's not like she was talking to you.
It sounds like she was probably just stressed out too, and it's just easy to take out her frustration on something small like that.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not like you were ignoring her when she was talking.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Also, you didn't have to fucking drive her.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in a good mood and entertain everyone all the time.
Right.
Anyway, she said, I don't feel like I did anything wrong by being quiet, and I was confused because I had put my wants aside to help her. I will admit I wasn't emotionally there, but I thought what mattered was that I showed up when she needed a favor. My sister disagrees. Says the favor meant nothing if I couldn't mentally be there, and she would have rather drove herself if I wasn't there to emotionally support.
Herself?
Yeah, what the fuck? Like, you have to be my...
So it sounds like maybe she had asked her to drive too because maybe she wanted the company. Like, just say that.
Yeah, then say that. Being like, I want to like chit chat.
Yeah.
Do you mind driving me?
Yeah, just say
and
that.
I'm doing my work.
But she had said she wants her to work so
work
she could drive so she could work.
Yeah. Also, she's allowed to be like, I'm just thinking about all the shit I have to do when I get home. Like,
yeah,
she's allowed to say that.
Yeah.
And then the sister should have been like, oh shit, I know you have a lot to do. I
sounds
appreciate
like
you
it
doing
just
me
sounds
this
like
favor.
sister stuff.
It just sounds, yeah, like the sister is
PMSing.
Yes, it sounds like she's a stressed,
yeah, she's stressed
human, and she's taking it out on someone that is
the nearest thing to her.
The nearest thing who's clearly has been manipulated by her whole life.
Yeah,
and it's like just always willing to help. And so,
or even I wouldn't even go that far. I would just say sister stuff because growing up with like 6 sisters, like
you got a lot of experience,
a lot of passive aggressive experience.
Yeah, I just feel like no, you weren't the asshole in any of this. I don't think there was a step in this where you were an asshole.
The communication was just totally off on the sister's part, the other sister's part.
Yeah, and it's no.
Yeah, no, she's not an asshole.
Yeah, and also if she had said,
and I'm sure they'll be fine in 24 hours.
Yeah, but if like the sister's like, hey, can you drive me? And the sister is like, listen, I'm not emotionally available at the moment. Like the sister was like, what the fuck? Drive me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. They shouldn't have accepted that
also,
as an
they're
answer.
Sisters living together, so I'm sure that they get in a lot of little tips. I could not
a fucking chit. I love my sister so much. We did really well sharing a room and traveling together, but like
it's just how siblings are. You have those, and because I feel like because you're siblings, you're so good at fighting with each other.
Yes, because you know everyone's like you've known them their whole life. Like you know what makes them tick.
Yes.
All right. Well, next one. Am I the asshole for my wedding rules? Now I read this.
Okay.
And at first I was like, no. And then I read the comments. I was like, oh, wait, yes.
Okay.
They did so many edits, so I have to go to the original post. I have just finished my information slip for my wedding. Rules, food, driving directions. I made a copy for everyone attending, but showed my grandmother, Jess, first. She became very upset, saying there are too many rules. But when I said that most of the slip was about the food, she told me that I'm being a bitch about the rules. This is what the slip said. So grandma is not having also the information slip. It's not the invitation, it's the information slip. Grandma's not having it.
Okay.
Just said no. All right.
Already I'm like, you're not the asshole because it's your wedding. Do what you want. But let's
see this. Okay. This is what it said. This event is semi-formal at the church, and guests are requested to wear blue, purple, light pink, champagne, or black. Please be mindful that the reception will mostly be outside, grass, so flat sneakers are advised to be brought as well for your comfort. And then it says, the top line is only a request. This was the color scheme, and I wanted to include it in case anyone wanted to match, but I already told people that I wanted... if they wanted to wear a bright red dress or a lime green tux, I really don't care. And then it goes back onto the thing. It says, no white attire, excluding shoes and accessories. Guests wearing white attire will be asked to leave or change. If a refusal is made, the guests will be escorted from the event. Children are expected to behave and not interrupt the ceremony / first dance. If a child is being disruptive, please take them outside for a breather. And it says there's a child's area for the kids. And if the parents want wanted their kids with them, then this is for the parent. So there's like a place for kids, but if the parents want them, they're like, you have to behave. And then it says, no proposals or pregnancy announcements. Attempts will will result in guests being removed from the event. Plus,
honestly, so far I like it. Keep going.
Plus,
because a lot of this stuff does happen at weddings, and it does.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, listen, like
and I get it, but that is their day. Like, I wish somebody would propose to somebody on my wedding day. You know how long I've waited for this day?
Like, that is fucked.
I think it is.
It is.
That's supposed
it is fucked. Like, there's been...
If it's pregnancy, for me, that's different. Like, if the person comes to me ahead of time, like, hey, can I announce my pregnancy? I would be all for that.
No, you know what? If an event is for someone, it's for that someone. Yeah. Don't try and fucking steal their thunder.
It is, especially if you don't tell me ahead of time. Are you kidding me? I would chuck my cake at you.
Yes. All right. So this says, plus ones are discouraged due to the size of the bride's family. By the way, this is the bride writing that. Okay.
Yeah.
However, if you would like to add someone to your invitation, please first let the bride or groom know with your party's head count. And it said, I tried to include some humor about how big my family was, and Jess was offended by this line. I have an enormous family, and I don't have enough money to provide food for that many people, so I only invited immediately family / close friends and people contributing to the event. I also invited their partners as well. For example, I'm inviting my great aunt and her partner along with her. Or another would be that I'm inviting my youngest brother, so I included their siblings and parents as well. I guess because maybe it's 2 different families, like split family. So there's about 60 people total, including bridesmaids and groomsmen. The bottom half of the slip is food and drink. Is about food and drink. Mine and my husband's phone numbers and driving directions. I'm considering rewording some things. I feel like I worded it badly, and maybe separating it into one slip, each rules, food, and driving directions. My husband and coworkers haven't told anyone else. They are saying I should change only Jess's slip, the grandma's. For extra context, Jess hasn't contributed anything because I don't want her to. She helped me out with furniture and appliances when I got my first apartment, and I've just finished paying her back. Am I the asshole for the wedding rules? I originally was like...
The only one I'm a little iffy on is the kids one, because if you're going to allow people to bring kids, you can't really control that situation. So either make it like kid-friendly wedding or not. Yeah. Which I think either one, you have the option.
Yeah. So people were like, it's how you worded it. Yeah. Everyone's saying, oh dear, you're the asshole. It's off-putting. I know you're probably trying to cover all your bases so your wedding goes quote unquote perfectly, but the way you worded it is so harsh. I don't think you need to explain basic conduct at a wedding.
But the messed up thing is you do.
Because people are fucking stupid.
Yes, you do.
But if you really need to tell your guests what to do, make it nicer. Example, if you really don't care if someone's wearing lime green, why word it like that? Try all colors of wedding attire welcome. Efforts to wear wedding theme colors, then they are black, champagne, purple, blue. And that would be appreciated. Like,
yeah.
And then example, there's a child's play area for children who need a break from sitting quietly. Like and people are like rewording it, being like, I was like, okay, I guess the invitation itself was asshole-ish.
But I think because I love directness,
yes,
so that I know what to do with it, I would have read that. I would have read it like, please. I would have read it the way you just read it, like it's so simple. But some people would have read it like, and do this with your kid. Like people would be hearing a different tone in their head, but I don't hear that. I'm like, oh, it's crystal clear. I know what to do. Like, I love this.
And someone said, you're the asshole. What the fuck? I would RSVP no, not send a GIF and have a laugh at your expense. And then someone asked the person, like, what would the food slip say?
Yeah.
And so they list, the food slip is listing all the food.
Yeah.
And someone's like, also, I just read your update. You listed all your food. You're doing way too much. What the fuck?
No, that's normal.
Thank you for listing all your food.
Yeah. That's normal. Usually you're supposed to send something back and circle which one you want too. So that
they said that the food is just like, they're just having trays of stuff because it's in a remote area and there's not many places that can cater.
Yeah.
And like people are just like, I really read it and was like, yes, tell everyone how it is. And then everyone's like, you're the asshole. A lot of those things.
I want to know how many of these people are married that say you're the asshole.
I have no idea.
I've seen so many videos too, like on social media, people getting married and these kind of things happening. And my brain always immediately goes, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Oh,
like,
hell no.
And I've thought too, like if I did have a big wedding, and because I've thought about the kids thing too, because even growing up as a kid, I remember there were some weddings we could go to and some weddings where my parents would be like, no, kids are allowed to go to this one, you know, and sometimes they want to have more of an adult wedding, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
And even as a kid, I was never like, I don't get to go to a wedding. You know what I mean?
Give a fuck.
Yeah. But yeah, I say, I think it's, I don't think she's the asshole.
Yeah. No. And then someone was like, everyone's saying you're the asshole.
That's crazy.
Someone said soft, you're the asshole. A lot of these are just common courtesy. Most people don't specifically say,
sounds like a lot of
don't propose at my wedding.
Yeah.
The guests understand that proposing at a wedding is rude and weird. I'm going to say maybe there's like a lot of people in her life that don't have basic common sense.
Or, boundaries. Everybody's.
Yeah.
It's about them. Yeah. No, it's interesting to me.
Yeah. Someone said you're the asshole. After all those rules, I wouldn't come to your wedding. What rules can you not follow?
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Nothing on there was bad to me. I wonder if a lot of people too have kids, like maybe kids that they know aren't going to behave that well, so immediately they just get on the defense or something.
So she said, hold on. She said, I read all your comments. Here's what I'm going to say from, like, this is what my thing's going to be. The event will be held at a church. And semi-formal attire is recommended. The wedding colors are blue, purple, light pink, champagne, and black, and guests are invited but not required to join in dressing in these colors. A children area will be provided, and families are welcome to have their children in that area at any time during the day. We do not have room for additional guests or a +1. Sorry. And then it says the food thing. So...
that does sound a little bit better though, because with the kids too, she was like not disturbing during the first dance or something like that, right?
Yeah, I was like, don't disturb during the first dance and blah blah blah. And people are also saying like, don't say no +1s, but ask us if you want one.
Yeah,
and so it's just like either say no +1s or +1s.
I think that proves that she really wanted to be accommodating.
She was trying like. I don't take that as she was an asshole. I think she was trying really hard to just cover her bases.
Everything.
Yeah, being like, don't ruin my wedding. Don't be a dick. Like, don't wear white. Don't propose.
And how many first dance videos have you seen where everyone's kids are just running to the dance floor, getting in the camera, and you pay so much money for the photographer and the videographer?
Yeah.
Like,
so I don't think she was an asshole, but I think she did need help rewording it so it wasn't so abrasive.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. Like, there are so
but I would have never caught that. Like, if she would have either. If she was my wife and she had been like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" I'm like, "That's great." I would have been like, then nobody shows up to our wedding.
As a guest, I've been like, "Damn, type A," but I guess I gotta get a champagne colored suit. Yeah, like I wouldn't have cared. I don't know. I would have been like, "Thanks for telling me all the food." Yeah. Thanks for the driving directions.
And like, I love it when people tell you what their color theme is, because I'd rather be on theme with that than show up in a color that you wouldn't want.
Honestly,
like, in my mind, I'm like, it's your day.
Yeah, I don't. Yes,
I'm here to support you.
Yeah, and people are like, this is
especially if you're not paying for anything for the wedding.
Yeah,
like you either come and follow these rules or you don't come at all.
Like, because also none of those rules where I was like, well, damn, I'm not gonna have any fun then.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna say things like everybody is allowed one drink and blah, like just like weird stuff.
No, it was like, don't wear white. Duh.
I've heard some people though that have a really big problem with no kid weddings, and that to me is like,
no, fuck that. You can have a kid wedding. You can have a no kid wedding.
Right.
Like, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna say not the asshole, but needed to be rearranged. The words need to be rewritten so that people who take things negatively.
I'm gonna say I think it was great.
Yeah.
I think it was great.
I love you. I love you so much. I personally love directness.
Yeah, I do too.
Because my friend Zara was getting married. She's like, these are the color themes. I was like, do you want me to wear a suit like that color then?
Yeah.
And she was like, no, you don't have to. And I was like, Zara, would you appreciate it more if I wore a suit in that color? And she's like, well, yes. And I was like, great, then I will get a suit in that color. I don't care. I got the time.
I even called her. I was like, is an olive green dress? Oh my God, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
So and like, just want to make sure.
And she is someone that you could bug her with that stuff. There's some people who are like, why the fuck are you bugging me?
Yeah.
And it's like, I know she really likes pictures.
Yeah. But at the same time, going back to the fact that it's your day and everything too, like, should you even be concerned about the way, like, it's not necessarily the invitation. It's just the breakdown of like about her wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah.
Fuck it. All right.
Everyone's sensitive.
This is the last one.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for not wanting to share a hotel room with my mother-in-law?
No.
Same.
You shouldn't have to do what you don't want to, especially as an adult.
Yes.
Like, that's why you become an adult. So you can
don't
say no.
Do shit. I am someone that I like my space, and I like
too.
to be kindly asked if I'm going to be inconvenienced.
And
I will always be like, yeah, you can inconvenience me, but ask me first.
No, regardless of how comfortable I ever am with anybody, I always don't feel 100% comfortable in somebody else's bed, sharing a hotel room with somebody else.
Yeah,
like,
same.
I just, you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Or
and I do better about it now, but it was something I used to get very anxious about. And when I would go on trips and stuff, I'd be like, you guys have your room. I need my separate one, because when I'll shut down. When I get really overwhelmed, I shut down.
Yeah.
And people stop having fun around me, and it's not, and they worry like, what's wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, nothing's wrong. My brain is just like, it needs a break.
Yeah.
And because some people just can't handle that well, I know that that's my time to go, and like, I'm going to go take a nap, and then I come back and everything's great.
I've gotten really good at that. Like, before I met Abby, I had a lot of alone time. So I was like, and when I was with people, I was so excited. I was like, oh, I'm an extrovert. Being with Abby, she has a very active social group. Now I'm part of that friend group.
Yeah.
And we do lots of trips together. And I'm like, oh, I need me time. I was getting it without realizing it. And now I'm like, oh, I have to search for that me time.
I'm definitely both. And it doesn't fluctuate with stress or happiness. It doesn't. Like, I'm both.
And it's nice to find friends like you where we both were so hyper together, and now we've gotten to the point where we can sit and do absolutely nothing together in silence, and it's totally good, and we can recharge that way.
Yeah.
But when
we still have our moments.
Yes, of course.
Even as a kid, when I used to go to birthday parties, I would get to a point in the party where I would just go and sit in a corner. I always remember this. And the moms or the parents would always come and go, are you okay? And I just go, I think I'm ready to go home now.
Yeah.
And they'd always call my mom, and I'd go home. Yeah. I did the same thing on vacations every year. For a whole week, I would go on vacation with my godparents somewhere like Ventura or something. And I'd make it like 3 or 4 days. And I love my god family when I was a kid. And I just looked at them and go, I think I want to go home now. Yeah. Like, it's just, you
just get tired.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn, I had to like go, I'm really tired. I'm going to take a nap. But really, I'm just going to go scroll on my phone for an hour by myself in bed. And that's like my way of recharging.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But okay. So this one said, my wife and I are set to go on a Grand Canyon hiking trip in a few days. We are going with her mom and 2 teenage brothers. For whatever reason, I suddenly wondered about the room and asked my wife tonight what the room setup is. And that's when I found out we were all staying in one room.
Okay.
So his wife, his mother-in-law, and his 2 brother-in-laws that are teenagers.
No, thank you.
I immediately was like, wait, we're all sharing a room? And then she started saying how she told me we were because we wanted to keep it a cheap trip. I told her I don't remember that at all. I would remember if she told me that, because I absolutely hate the idea. And that she had only told me we were staying in the cheapest hotel we could find, which I didn't mind at all, but never that we were sharing a room. And now she's saying it's inconsiderate of me to tell her that I don't like the idea, even though I'd swear she had never told me until now, and is threatening to just cancel my ticket so she doesn't have to deal with my stupid, weird thing about sharing a room and my stupid need for food. That is in quotes. She's referring to the fact that I need to fairly consistently be eating, or I run the risk of triggering a seizure. His stupid, in quotes, stupid need for food. So the boy doesn't have a seizure?
Oh, no. Mm-mm.
She sounds insensitive.
I'd be like, no wonder why they don't want to share a room with that person, with those people.
Yeah. We're driving 3 hours from Vegas to our hotel after we land in the evening. And then the next morning we have an hour and a half drive. Oh, the camera battery is exhausted. Hold on 1 second. All right. We're back. Sorry. So he's saying we're driving 3 hours from Vegas to our hotel after we land in the evening. And then next morning we have an hour and a half to drive to our starting point of our hike. Each day we're doing a day hike. So that's 3 hours of driving on top of hiking. And then we come back to the hotel and we'll have to deal with everyone using one bathroom.
Oh, no.
Then just the weird factor of sharing a room with my mother-in-law. And then you add 2 teenage boys. They're gross. I was one. And no matter what anyone says, teenage boys are gross, especially after 8 to 10 hours of hiking. And it's just a big old pile of no thank you. On a more serious note, about the part of my bid for not sharing a room, I have epilepsy. And the one fear I've had leading up to this is the off chance I might have a seizure during our hike. The kicker is that one of the biggest triggers for me for possibly having a seizure is sleep, or lack thereof. And the other main one, mentioned above, is eating well. So given that we'll be sharing a room with others now, I'm worried about not being able to get enough rest to where I can still wake up at 6 or 7 a.m. and not feel like I'm going to have a seizure that day. You are not a fucking asshole.
The asshole.
Your wife is not she could have totally booked this and been like, why? What the fuck? Why don't you want to do it? And then he's like, my epilepsy. And she'd be like, oh, shit.
I was going to say,
bad.
knowing his epilepsy, I would have been like, don't worry. I already made sure that you have your own space to sleep and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not something he can control.
No, his wife does not sound the
best.
No,
No,
you're not the asshole.
Yeah, there's really nothing else to say about that. Like, that sucks for him.
Yeah. Like, it sounds like he has a condition and his wife is 0% empathetic towards it.
Yeah, didn't take it into consideration at all.
No,
like,
and when he brought it up, she was just like, well, then you just can't come.
Never.
No, not a chance.
Not a chance. I would never do that. No.
All right. Well, this has been Am I the Asshole with Joy.
Yeah.
There was only like 1 or 2 assholes.
Yeah, honestly. I was waiting for a few more.
I was reading through them today and I was just like, there's not a lot.
But they were good stories.
Yes, I enjoyed them. If you have different,
like the dog one and the kid.
Yeah. Again, it's like sometimes it's not, life isn't black and white. Like it's not an asshole, but you should do it anyway.
Yeah. The only thing in black and white is like math.
Yeah. That's literally it.
Like everything else is gray.
All right. If you disagree with us, please let us know below on any of these.
Yes.
I like a debate, not a fight. A healthy debate.
Especially the like wedding one. Like, I would like to know if you think she was the asshole.
Yeah.
Explain that. Because I want to understand that like other side.
Yeah. People are just like, it doesn't sound nice. And I'm like, well, if you were offended by any of these rules.
And you don't look nice.
Yeah. But like, if anyone was like, well, I would read these rules and not go, I'd be like, why? Were you planning on doing any of this shit?
And that's the problem of things that are text or typed, is because people read them, have that voice in their head. They hear them how they want. Have you ever seen the clip? I can't remember the 2 actors right now, but the clip, and they're texting and the one person's like, hey, do you want to hang out or whatever? And they're like, yeah, sure. When are you leaving? I'm leaving right now. And it just starts to get like really heated because the other person's reading it wrong. And they're like, well, do you want to go now or do you want to go later? And the person's like, whatever. And he goes, whatever? Do you not want to hang out with me? No, yeah, we can go whenever. Like, and the other person's just so light about it. And that's how it is.
Avi has a few times been like, babe, you have to put them, like, this is
an
a
emoji?
rule now. I have to put emojis in text. Like, my friend Allie called me out. She's like, you gotta throw an LOL or something in there. Like, you're so fucking matter of fact.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I said, thanks for letting me know, period.
I used to get told that a lot, and that's why I put emojis now, or always LOL, or an explanation mark. Yeah, because people used to say the same thing.
Yeah, they're like, you're so dry. I think you're mad. And
yeah.
No, I said, thank you very much. Have a
Yeah.
good day. What do you mean?
Yeah.
So whenever I sent out mass
and then the
texts-
period, it's like
Yeah.
a period, and it's like nobody can
It's
just
called
write
grammar.
it.
It's called
And I'm
grammar.
such a grammar person. I'll even put the comma. All that.
Yes.
And they're like,
I put all the
they're
comments.
like, "Are you okay?"
No, I'm like, nah, you're
I always
Let me
look
do it.
back at the text like,
yeah. I'm like,
That's
that looks
nice.
fucking good. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, why are you yelling at me? I'm like, I wasn't. What the fuck are you saying?
"Why are you yelling at me?" Versus but they want an exclamation mark.
Yeah.
So they know you're excited.
Yeah. Text does a lot.
Yeah.
All right. I love you guys. Please subscribe or follow. Make sure you check out my new merch, Rachel. This one's an uncensored merch. Go check it out. Link in the description. I'll get you one.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I love you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Rachel Uncensored, the only place on the internet where you can find the uncensored version of me, Rachel Ballinger. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, or follow, or do whatever this platform tells you to do so that you can get notified every time I post a new episode. Love ya!